to be fixed. And I don't give a damn if I get fined because that shit cheap. And I am tired of the shit. Because I've been nice and I've been humble with it, but I am tired of the shit.
Back a little bit. You can't want to be the villain. You can't pride yourself in being the villain, and then you lose, and all of a sudden you succumb to those emotions.
What happens when raw talent, rising fame, and an explosive temper all collide in front of national cameras? You get a disaster so wild, so chaotic, it's already being called one of the most embarrassing meltdowns in WNBA history. Angel Reese, once celebrated as the face of a new generation, just let it all explode on live television. And what followed wasn't just a tantrum. It was a full-on career crisis. One viral slap, one disrespected executive, one tweet that poured gasoline on the fire, and now? The most powerful voice in sports, Stephen A. Smith, has entered the chat, and he didn't just call Angel Reese out, he annihilated her. No mercy, no filter, no holding back. His words didn't just expose her behavior, they ripped through the entire WNBA culture. And what he said about Caitlin Clark, that's when things got nuclear. This isn't just drama. It's the moment everything changed. Angel Reese didn't just have a bad night. She might have just sabotaged everything she's built. And trust me, once you hear what really happened behind the scenes, you won't believe how far this fallout goes. The warning signs were all there, but nobody wanted to admit it. Angel Reese was never just another rookie. She came into the league with swagger, headlines, and the weight of an entire brand on her shoulders. But while the hype machine kept spinning, the reality on the court started crashing hard. The Chicago Sky aren't just underperforming, they're collapsing. With a miserable 5-13 record, they're now one of the worst teams in the entire WNBA. And while Angel's been stacking up what her fans call monster numbers, those stats mean nothing when the scoreboard keeps showing loss after loss. It's like watching someone polish their crown while the kingdom burns. And the tension? It's been growing like a ticking time bomb. Fans saw it, commentators felt it, her teammates probably lived it every day. Angel wasn't rallying the squad. She wasn't lifting spirits or leading huddles. No, she was pacing the sidelines, boiling under pressure, ready to snap. And when that snap finally came, it didn't just shake her team. It shook the whole league. It all came crashing down in the final seconds of a tight game against the Washington Mystics. The score was locked at 77-77. This was the kind of moment that defines careers, the pressure, the spotlight, the opportunity to rise. But instead of rising, Angel Reese exploded. After Washington's Shakira Austin missed 2 free throws, she grabbed her own rebound, scored, and put the Mystics up by 2. The crowd erupted. Angel's expression changed instantly: panic, frustration, disbelief. Then she got fouled on the other end and coolly made both shots to tie it again. For a second, it looked like redemption was coming. But what happened next? No one saw it coming. With 30 seconds left, Chicago challenged a foul call, and players began walking to the bench. That's when Ann Crosby, the team's respected VP of basketball operations, calmly approached Angel with a clipboard, ready to strategize. But instead of taking that clipboard like a pro, Angel slapped it clean out of Crosby's hands. Not a bump, not a brush, a full-on, public, disrespectful smack. The arena froze. The cameras caught it. And in that moment, Angel Reese didn't just lose her temper, she lost control of her image, her leadership, and maybe her future. Now, any seasoned pro would have stepped back, taken a breath, and owned the mistake. But Angel Reese? She took a bad moment and turned it into a viral disaster. Instead of apologizing, instead of showing any ounce of leadership or regret, she ran to Twitter and dropped one of the most tone-deaf, immature responses we've ever seen from a professional athlete. The tweet read, "Those people were pissing me off. Shout out to Ann because she knew it was the heat of the moment and she didn't let me apologize because she knew. Not happening again though. Read that again. No apology, no responsibility, just excuses, casual language, and a strange claim that the very woman she disrespected somehow knew it wasn't a big deal. And instead of sounding sincere, she made it sound like a joke, like the whole thing was just a lighthearted moment. She was trending, but for all the wrong reasons. This wasn't damage control. This was pouring jet fuel on a fire she lit herself. In that one tweet, Angel didn't just embarrass her organization, she exposed the mindset that's been holding her back from true greatness. And the backlash? It was immediate. And if you thought the clipboard incident was a one-off, think again. This wasn't some isolated emotional slip, it was just the latest explosion in a pattern that's been brewing since day one. Less than 48 hours before the outburst, Angel Reese was already making headlines for all the wrong reasons. After another brutal loss, she stepped into a post-game press conference and didn't talk about the game, didn't talk strategy, didn't uplift her teammates. Instead, she went on a tirade blasting referees, throwing out veiled threats, and dropping language that had her own PR team scrambling behind the scenes. This was supposed to be a season of maturity, growth, evolution. But instead, Angel turned the mic into a megaphone for personal frustration. And here's the kicker. Every time she does it, she chips away at her own credibility. The league is watching, the fans are watching, sponsors are definitely watching. And all they're seeing is someone who can't control the narrative or herself. What should have been a breakout year is now a cautionary tale in real time. And just when it felt like things couldn't spiral any further, Stephen A. Smith stepped in and turned this drama into a firestorm. When Stephen A. Smith talks, the sports world listens. But this time, he didn't just talk, he detonated. The moment he saw that clipboard fly and read that tone-deaf tweet, he went straight to ESPN and unleashed one of the most scathing reality checks in WNBA history. His message was crystal clear. Angel Reese isn't just out of line, she's out of touch. And the way he said it, devastating. Stay in your lane, he snapped. But that was just the beginning. He didn't just go after Reese, he ripped into the entire culture surrounding her. He called it what no one else would, a toxic cocktail of jealousy, ego, and unprofessionalism. He said Reese wasn't acting like a competitor, she was auditioning for a reality show called America's Next Jealous Teammate. And then he hit the nerve. While Angel was breaking clipboards and ranting online, Stephen A. reminded everyone of the player quietly doing the exact opposite Caitlin Clark. And from there, things went nuclear. Because Smith didn't just praise Clark, he used her as the mirror that exposed every flaw in Reese's behavior. Stephen A. didn't just bring up Caitlin Clark, he weaponized her. While Angel Reese was busy throwing tantrums, Clark was out there changing the entire game. And Smith came armed with receipts. He called Clark a walking marketing campaign, a franchise in sneakers, and the single biggest reason people were finally tuning into the WNBA. And he wasn't wrong. When Caitlin Clark plays, viewership averages a staggering 1.1 million. When she doesn't, that number collapses to just under 400,000. That's not a small dip, that's a total freefall. And yet, while Clark was pulling in fans, filling arenas, and turning games into primetime events, players like Reese were treating her like the enemy. Instead of working alongside the league's brightest star, Reese was too busy trying to steal the spotlight by force. Stephen A. called it out with surgical precision. He said Reese and others weren't trying to beat Clark, they were trying to silence her. And in doing so, they were hurting not just their own image, but the entire league. Because whether they like it or not, the numbers don't lie. Caitlin Clark is the WNBA's lifeline. And Reese? She's becoming its loudest distraction. And Stephen A. didn't stop with the players, he turned the spotlight straight on the league. Because while Caitlin Clark was getting body slammed every other night, the referees were swallowing their whistles like it was part of the show. Cheap shots, elbows, flagrant fouls. Clark was getting targeted like a punching bag, and no one in authority stepped in to protect her. Smith wasn't having it. He called out the WNBA for failing its biggest asset, accusing them of standing by while the players single-handedly lifting their ratings got torn down game after game. And meanwhile, Angel Reese and others were more focused on sending a message than actually playing to win. That message, petty, personal, and painfully short-sighted. Because the moment Clark went down with an injury and missed those headline matchups, the entire league felt it. Ticket prices dropped, viewership took a nosedive, merchandise sales flatlined. The momentum Clark had built was suddenly gone, and the WNBA had no backup plan. Stephen A. didn't say, "I told you so." He shouted it from the rooftops. And in doing so, he made one thing brutally clear. Without Caitlin Clark, the house of cards falls fast. This was never just about a clipboard. It was never just one tweet, one tantrum, or one press conference meltdown. What Stephen A. Smith exposed wasn't a moment, it was a mindset. He held up a mirror to Angel Reese and showed the world exactly why she's not where she should be. While Caitlin Clark has been building bridges, bringing in fans, elevating the game, making history, Angel Reese has been setting fire to every opportunity handed to her. Instead of leading, she's lashing out. Instead of growing, she's digging deeper into victimhood. Every outburst, every excuse, every emotional breakdown on social media, it's all part of a pattern that screams one thing: self-destruction. And here's the insult that stings the most. Reese acts like she's the one being wronged. Like the refs are plotting against her. Like the media is out to destroy her. Like accountability doesn't apply. But Stephen A. shut that fantasy down with one brutal truth. The Caitlin Clark train is moving with or without you. And right now, Angel Reese isn't just off the train. She's not even at the station. She's still yelling on the platform, stuck in place, while the rest of the league moves forward without her. The clipboard slap wasn't the problem, it was the perfect metaphor. Destructive, disrespectful, and a wake-up call she still refuses to answer. So where does this leave Angel Reese? In the harshest spotlight of her career. She's no longer the rising star with all the swagger. She's now the cautionary tale everyone's watching unfold in real time. Because talent means nothing without control. Fame fades fast when it's powered by ego. And leadership? That's earned in moments of pressure, not lost in fits of emotion. Stephen A. Smith didn't just roast Angel Reese, he exposed the cost of pride, the danger of arrogance, and the brutal truth that the game will move on without you. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark keeps showing up, taking hits, lifting the league, and doing it all without drama. That's the difference. That's why one is the face of the future and the other is becoming yesterday's headline. So now the question isn't whether Angel Reese can dominate, it's whether she'll even be remembered for the right reasons. What do you think? Did Stephen A. Smith go too far, or did he finally say what everyone else was too scared to admit? Let me know in the comments, smash that like button, and if you're not already subscribed, what are you waiting for? The drama's just getting started, and we're not holding anything back.